Why do INFJs and INFPs get obsessed with their crushes? Now, I'm doing this video today based on feedback from my readers. I have been getting a lot of questions about this subject. I put out an article a couple weeks ago about what happens when INFJs and INFPs fall in love, and I got a huge response on that article, and so many people said that they had experienced this struggle, and it seemed like no one else had ever experienced it. They felt very alone in this, very isolated. So I knew I had to do a video on it. So that's today's video. Why do INFJs and INFPs get so obsessed with their crushes? That's what we're going to be talking about. So INFJs and INFPs, the truth is we experience intense attraction with our crushes. In fact, to us, it doesn't feel like just a crush. When most people say crush, they mean they're attracted to someone, they really like that person, maybe they are interested in becoming romantic with that person. With INFJs and INFPs, it takes on a whole different level of intensity. For us, it very quickly feels like an obsession. It feels like a person we can't stop thinking about. They're always in our mind. When we're around them, we feel like we want to be around them, but we also feel very uncomfortable at the same time. So it can be this push-pull, euphoria, despair feeling. It's very hard for us. This is because, in part, INFJs and INFPs are not attracted to a person's outer identity. So that means we're not just attracted to someone because they're good looking, or they have a lot of status, or they have a flashy car. That kind of stuff doesn't really mean a whole lot to us. So for a lot of other people, when they say they have a crush on someone, usually they mean they find that person very physically attractive. And that might be the extent of it. That's not how it is for INFJs and INFPs. We are not attracted to someone just because we find them physically attractive. In fact, if the only thing about them that is good is that they are physically attractive, we most often won't be attracted to them at all. We need something more. We need something deeper. For INFJs and INFPs, we are attracted to the essence of a person. So that means their psychological traits, those that are seen on the surface and those that are buried and hidden, because we can see both, and their soul, their essence, their heart, who they are as a person. We are only attracted to those who we deeply resonate with. That means we feel pulled towards them. There's this magnetic quality to our attractions where, again, I said, like, you can't stop thinking about the person. They're always in your mind. If you work together or if you're in the same friend group, it seems like you always end up in their proximity. They always show up, even when it seems a little bit unexpected or unlikely that they would show up in that situation. You might experience a lot of synchronicities around the person. You might see a lot of signs around the person. You might get a lot of intuitions around the person. Again, this is all very intense. Now, another reason that we tend to have such intense, obsessive, almost crushes with people is because we are usually attracted to people based on their wounds. We want to help heal them. And if someone shows up in our life who we are attracted to physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, and they also have a wound that tends to fit perfectly in alignment with our abilities as a healer, then that makes for a formula, a recipe, if you will, for intense, magnetic, obsessive crushing. So, for example, maybe we grew up really with a hard time expressing ourselves. Maybe we have experienced a really difficult time finding our own voice, speaking our own truth in life. And that's been one of our lifelong tasks. We've worked with self-expression. We've done a lot of inner work around speaking our truth, around who we are. And then we meet someone who's attractive to us. And we very quickly pick up on the fact that they have a deep wound in the same area. They don't feel like they can express themselves. They don't feel like they can trust themselves or be their authentic self. That is where the crush is going to really intensify because of all the work that we've already done, because of our healing abilities in that area. We're very strongly attracted to that person because we want to help them heal that wound. So all of these factors, they all lead to intense attraction. Now, the next thing that happens, once that intense attraction is in place, so once we are definitely obsessively crushing on someone and we can't help it and we're just there already, that then triggers our fear of abandonment. And both INFJs and INFPs have a deep fear of abandonment. When the fear of abandonment kicks in, we go into something called hyper information gathering mode. That means we want to gather all the information we possibly can about the person. The big picture stuff, the little mundane details. We want to know what they usually eat for breakfast. We want to know what their favorite color is, how many countries they've traveled to, what their childhood was like, what their favorite flavor of yogurt is. There is no detail too small. We want to know everything. Again, this is where most INFJs and INFPs really start to feel like, I am an obsessive stalker. There must be something wrong with me because I just want to soak up all of this information about this person I'm crushing on. And I want to know literally everything. And I don't think that's normal. Well, for INFJs and INFPs who are in an intense crush period with someone, this is actually absolutely normal. This is because we have now come to the point where we realize, okay, I'm really attracted to this person. In fact, I might even be in love with this person. I have deep, deep feelings for this person, and that's triggered that fear of abandonment. So us gathering all of this information, that's our way of making sure that we're not missing anything, and that's our way of also preparing. Is this person going to reject me? Is this person going to leave me? Even if we're not officially in a relationship, and I want to make that clear because everything I'm saying in this video, it does not matter if this person is an actual partner or if you are actually dating them or if they're already with somebody and you're already with somebody and this feels kind of weird and it's kind of this undefined relationship or it's just a friendship or they're just a coworker and they have no idea that you feel this way about them. None of that matters at all. You do not have to be in an official relationship or an official dating period for everything that I'm saying to be true. You can have intense, deep feelings for someone, and it's not going to turn into a relationship, and you already know that. You really well know that. However, your fear of abandonment is still triggered. You are afraid that they're going to find out about your feelings and reject you, or they might just move away, right? They just might leave. They might find a job in another city and leave. Or you might have a friendship with them and you're worried that if they knew about your feelings, the friendship would sour and be ruined. Or you could be in an official relationship with them and have all this stuff happen as well. This is a big area for INFJs and INFPs. So please don't rule out any of this just because you're not in an official romantic relationship with the person. So what's happening, we're trying to gather all of this information about them. We're romantically attracted to them. Again, whether or not we're in the relationship, the attraction is there, the intense feelings are there. And so we're gathering all of this information because we don't want to be blindsided. We don't want to be surprised. Suddenly the person's leaving. Suddenly the person is acting cold towards us, or their feelings have changed, or we're feeling rejected. We want to be prepared for those scenarios. So in our mind, getting all of the information so that we can paint a complete psychological portrait of them, this helps us do that. The other thing that's part of this is that when an INFJ or an INFP is in intense attraction, it floods our nervous system. And this is why we usually feel weird around the person. We want to be around them, we want to be closer to them, we want to know more, we want to spend quality time with them, but we also will come to a point where we feel saturated and overwhelmed, and we either want to push them away or we want to go away and have time to ourselves. This is because we're feeling overwhelmed. Our nervous system is flooded with all of the endorphins and the hormones and the emotions, all the feelings. We're feeling all the feelings, and it's really too much. Then we go into overwhelm and we feel out of control. So again, we feel like if we have all of the information on the person, every little detail of their life, we can manage this anxiety, we can manage this overwhelm, we can manage this fear of abandonment. This is why we get obsessed. This is why we feel like stalkers. I want to let you know, and I don't know you personally, so I don't know, maybe there's a small chance you are a stalker. It's most likely you are not. Every INFJ and INFP I've ever talked to who's come to me and says, there's something wrong with me, I'm a stalker, I'm gathering all this information on my crush, what's wrong with me? We're not stalkers. They are not stalkers. We are not trying to own the person. We are not trying to possess the person. We are not trying to manipulate the person. We are not trying to force our agenda on the person. In fact, quite the opposite. INFJs and INFPs hold free will as a top value, and anyone we love, we want to make sure that they have their freedom, they have their independence, they're being their most authentic self, they're growing and evolving to the best of their ability. That's very important to us. We are not trying to corral them into a relationship with us or put a collar on them or say, you're mine, stay in this little cage. That's not the point of us doing all of this information gathering and this obsessive thinking about them. We're really just trying to protect ourselves. We want to know every detail about them so that we can regain control, balance our feelings of overwhelm, and be prepared for abandonment. So the best thing you can do if you're an INFJ or an INFP and you're watching this and you're like, whew, okay, I'm not a stalker, that's cool, but what do I do with the obsession? Because that feels really uncomfortable too, and it feels like too much and I don't know how to stop it. The best thing you can do is stop fighting it. Stop resisting it when it happens. Accept your obsessive periods. They are a cycle. They will come to an end. There is an ebb and flow. But the more you resist them, the harder it's going to be for that energy to move through you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are a totally normal INFJ or INFP. Now, I'm teaching a weekend class. It's called INFJs and INFPs in Love. The source of this is that article I wrote that I got such a huge response on. And so many people reached out and said, I'm really struggling in this area. I thought I was the only one. I've never talked about this before. This is like my secret shame. I'm so relieved that this is a thing and it's not just me and I'm not crazy. I'm not a crazy weirdo. So the class is called INFJs and INFPs in Love. It's happening Saturday, March 18th. It's a 2-hour seminar. It's a live class. It will be recorded. If you sign up and register, you will get access to the live class, and if you can't make it live, you will get the recording, and you will have lifetime access to that recording. So even if this happens to you 5 years down the road, you can go back and revisit the video. Please subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, to get notifications and updates and more videos like this one. And please subscribe to my newsletter. That's where I put out all class announcements. So if you're interested in this one or future ones, that's your best bet. Please sign up for my email list at laurensapaula.com. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and you can also get a hold of me through my website on my contact form. All right, everyone, hopefully I will see you there for INFJs and INFPs in Love, happening in just a week. Thanks.